Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews, you can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I posted album reviews of Hot Mulligan and Bless the Fall, so definitely go check those out if you get the chance to. I'll also be posting an interview with Dayshell tomorrow, so go check that out as well, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And a ton of other stuff coming for next week, which I'll be sharing with you hopefully sooner than later. But also, please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to hit that thumbs up, and please make sure to hit that notification bell so you get notified of when anything audio addiction related comes up. Thank you guys for also getting me to 900 subscribers. We're only 100 off from my goal for the end of the year, so if you could please subscribe, much love to you. But tonight we're going to be talking about Whalebone's new record, Island Fire. So, for those of you who haven't heard of this band, they are a band from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm pretty sure I'm probably right about that, or close. But they are good friends of mine. I've had them on the channel. It's been a while, so maybe, Paul, Nathan, you watching? Let's try to do another interview really soon. But they are actually in another band, the Wise Man Fears, which is more metalcore. This one kind of is a little bit more like rock, alternative, like even kind of borderline like indie rock too. But really great stuff. And I saw that they were working on a new record, and I wanted to do a review of this because I feel like they are a band that a lot of you will like, and they're definitely a band that I like, and that I want to see get more popular. So I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it. I'm going to go through some pros and cons, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track off the record is called Island Fire, the title track of the record. And this one starts off with a cool delayed guitar intro that really adds an interesting effect to an otherwise probably bland guitar riff. And I really love the creativity in that. I feel like, effects are really awesome in certain songs, and I just feel like this kind of is a good highlight to the guitar part. And it's something definitely that you hear, you pick up, and I feel like a lot of you will love. I feel like Nathan's vocals have a unique sort of harmonization to throughout most of the song, which I really appreciate because his voice works very well in that kind of low to mid range canter, and I feel like he can kind of do some more like upper range, like mids to highs, and he does some really great falsettos as well. I just love the cadence of his voice too. I feel like it just comes across very like warm and inviting. It's kind of very similar to Brent from I the Mighty, as well as like Casey Krenzo, I don't know how to pronunciate it, from the Deer Hunter. I feel like he's kind of like the mixture of both of them, which I love both of them as vocalists. So for me, that's kind of like hits right home. I think that it's a good opener track, and I like how it bleeds into I'll Try so smoothly. So we're gonna move into track number 2, I'll Try, and I just love the energy that this track brings. I feel like it's a continuation of Island Fire, or vice versa. Island Fire is just an intro to I'll Try, but it just has a sort of familiar vibe to it. Very harkens back to a lot of like nostalgic bands that I like. I really can't pinpoint one in particular, but it just has that vibe to it that just has this just familiarity to it, which I love. This track has moments of highs and lows. It kind of really builds, and it has awesome moments where it pays off. And I feel like the chorus is absolutely one of the high points, and then the verses kind of are the stepping stones to get to that point, which is really nice. It adds a really awesome dynamic to the track. But I'd say that my favorite part of this song is the bridge. It's definitely the most ear-catching to me, and I feel like it's where the song pays off the most in terms of just kind of building, and then gets to this awesome crescendo sort of part. So to me, I feel like that is just an awesome just song dynamically, and I feel like it plays up a lot of the other songs to follow it. So we're gonna move into track number 3, which is Inaction, and this one definitely has more energy than the previous track. Just vibey, catchy, and just has highlights more of Paul's dynamic drumming. There's a lot of great tracks that I feel like Paul does an awesome job in terms of the drumming. It really kind of highlights his skill and just his abilities to really, make a song unique and interesting. I feel like his drum style is very unlike a lot of other drummers, and I'm not just trying to say that because they are my friends. I really think that his drumming style is interesting and just unique and ear catching to me. I'm really loving Nathan's more emotional style and vibe in this track. It shows off a little bit more tonality, a little bit more grit, and just overall feelings to the track. And I love that. Structurally, I feel like this is their best track to date for sure. It just has a lot of great moments to it, like highs and lows, like I was talking about in previous tracks. But I feel like they really kind of honed in and they really made this track a really stellar track that I think everybody should go listen to, without a doubt. So we're going to move into track number 4, which is Reciprocation. This one has more of a bass presence to it, but as the song continues on, I feel like the drumming, especially in the second verse and just the rest of the track, feels like the absolute focal point. It's just got really interesting style, and just an interesting sort of rhythm that goes along with it. I actually like that the guitars kind of take almost a back seat in the song. It's a nice change of pace, and I think it really shows off more of the bass side as well as the drumming side that doesn't get, I would say, as much love as the guitar. Like a lot of people, when they listen to songs, they're very synonymous with guitars and things of that nature. So I feel like this song really highlights that to the best abilities. I also like how the song becomes more ethereal towards the bridge part, and just the layering makes it an awesome element to the track. And just the inclusion of piano is definitely awesome. And there's this awesome kind of breakdown esque part in the song towards the end, that I think is really cool. And I like how they changed up the rhythm towards the second half of that sort of bridge, breakdown part. I think it was really interesting. So we're gonna move into track number 5, which is "Begging for Light." Feels very much along the lines of an interlude. I think it works well after such a dynamic track and just a dynamic ending to a track. It's a nice kind of reprieve to the song, and I feel like it's a good palate cleanser, musical palate cleanser, and I love that. So we're gonna move into track number 6, which is "Desperate Lie." I feel like this song highlights Nathan's overall vocal range, includes more falsetto, more kind of high range, and it has more of a alt rock kind of feel to it, which I love. But it definitely grooves. It's one of the more groovier tracks. Definitely a super catchy tune, and has some of the best aspects of this record into one song. I think it is, again, along with Inaction, I feel like it's one of the strongest tracks off the record. There's this nice kind of layered guitar solo at the 2 minutes and 25-second mark to the 2 minutes and 50-second mark. And I feel like structurally, again, along with Inaction, I feel like it's one of their best songs, and is one of my favorites for sure off the record. And the harmonics at the beginning of the track that kind of set up the song and then kind of end out is a nice kind of counterbalance and counterplay to the more dynamic middle section of the song. So we're going to move into track number 7, which is "Once Bitten." This track starts off very interesting. It has kind of like an openness to it with the open guitar chords and the sort of ominous sort of drumming, very a very dynamic. And I know I keep saying that word, but it has this real openness to it, this real like ambience to it, which is like really hard to explain in words. You just have to listen to it for yourself. But it comes into its own, I would say, after the minute mark. It really kind of starts off very, I guess, very like interesting. That's really the only word I can use to describe it. But I feel like it works out well towards the end. Nathan's vocals kind of ride that line between Brent's vocals and Casey's vocals, as I've been mentioning previously. And this one just has an openness to it that I find very interesting. But it definitely plays into the more fullness of this song, and it has almost a dark quality or tonality to it, which I think was an interesting sort of change of pace in this song. So we're gonna move it into track number 8, which is "Twice Shy." And this is a nice continuation of Once Bitten. I think that they did an interesting sort of musical curveball, I would consider it, is that much like Island Fire and I'll Try, the songs kind of bleed into each other. And if I wasn't looking at the song titles and the songs changing, I would have thought that it was just one long song and just a continuation of it, which is really nice. And I think it's a nice stylistic choice. I haven't really heard that from any other band. So that's really nice. And this one definitely feels like more of the heavier side. There's no vocals in it, but definitely plays off more of the, heavier vibes of this record. And kind of expounds upon elements in Once Bitten, which is really nice. It has a big sound, and I just love how it just was produced in this way. So we're gonna move into track number 9, which is Backyard. This was the first single that they released, and they released a music video with it, which is fantastic. It's so beautiful. You know how they did it. I love it. Definitely go check out that song because it is out. But I love the acoustic guitar intro. The guitar arrangement on this track is probably my favorite off the record for sure. Just especially the like acoustic part. It feels very finger stylish. And I love it. I'm a big proponent of guitar. I play guitar, so those are the things that I look out for in a song. But this one vocally features more of Nathan's mid range, which is really nice. It has a nice warmth to it and an inviting sort of vibe to it. The guitars are really elegant, and it pairs very well with Nathan's vocals, which I feel like shine the most. And I feel like is definitely the strong point in this song, without a doubt. Easily one of the best songs off the record for sure. It just has a lot of great elements to it, piano, and just the layers add an awesome dynamic to the track, which I feel like I wouldn't say that a lot of these tracks were missing, but definitely the favorites of mine kind of keep in that same sort of vein. So, Backyard fits right in that sort of in that sort of range of favorites and why I love them so much. The arrangement of the track was beautiful from start to finish, and again, it just has this dynamic feeling to it, which I love. So we're gonna move into track number 10, which is Contrition. I'm pretty sure I pronunciated that right. I'm usually pretty bad with those sort of things, but getting back to this song, it has a nice space to it, but I feel like it takes a bit for the song to get going. And for it being a 5+ minute song, I feel like it drags a bit. There's a great part at the 2 minutes and 12 second mark to the 2 minutes and 42 second mark that is awesome, and I thought that the energy of that sort of song or part in the song would have carried on, but it just kind of fizzles out and it doesn't really go anywhere dynamically. And after a song like Backyard that has a lot of dynamic and has a lot of thought and a lot of like care put into it, I feel like it's kind of almost a slap in the face in that regard. This one just didn't grab me as much as the rest of them did, and I would probably consider this to be one of the worst tracks off the record. And some people may agree, some people might disagree, but I definitely feel like there's just a lack of dynamics. There's a lack of energy in this track that you know was kind of carried throughout. Even like the tracks that I felt like weren't my favorites, there wasn't something that really grabbed my attention about this one. And even so, being a 5+ minute track, I feel like with a song like that, you have to keep somebody's attention. You have to keep retention in a song. And I felt like I kind of fell off the bus in this song. I think it is arranged fairly well, but it just lacks that just energy and oomph that I've been expecting from Whalebones for sure. So we're gonna move into the last track, which is track number 11, The Warmth. I think this one does a much better job of setting up a larger song. I think it takes a lot of the cues from the past track, Contrition, but I think it does it in a better way. It starts off slow and it kind of gradually brings you in, and as the song kind of takes you on a journey, as some might say, it has some ups, it has some downs, and it has a really cool etherness while retaining the dynamic feel of the track. So I feel like this one is definitely a better version of Contrition. I feel like if they even took out Contrition and replaced it with just Warmth, I would be much happier with that. This one has also some really soft moments, but really some highlights to Nathan's vocals as well. I think it is a good song to end the record off with. It kind of has aspects and traits of previous songs off this record, but I think not 100%, but I think it does a really good job of kind of reining things in for the end of the record. So some pros and cons vocally. I feel like if you're a fan of the Deer Hunter or I the Mighty, I feel like this kind of rides the line between both, even kind of almost like Manchester Orchestra as well. I don't remember his name either, but I know the vocals on that record is really killer as well. Musically, I feel like it's more dynamic and more expansive than their previous work, the Seaside EP. Go check that out too. But I definitely feel like it's a step up in the right direction, and definitely a really awesome dynamic record. But some cons that I have: some songs go on for too long. Like I said, Contrition kind of slips up in that regard. Warmth has that some sort of those feelings as well, but maybe not nearly as much as Contrition. I would love to hear Paul do vocals. I know that he does vocals as well. I don't know if he does vocals on this record or not. That I couldn't really tell the difference. And I feel like I would be able to tell the difference if it was Paul's vocals. So I feel like maybe next record they could have something interesting. I feel like the counterbalance between Nathan's vocals and Paul's vocals would be really sick. And maybe not so long of a song to the point where it takes time for somebody to set it up. Like, I keep harking on Contrition, but I feel like it is a track to hark on a little bit. It just took a long time to get to that point. I think, again, Warmth does a really great job of doing that. But, I feel like maybe the longer songs aren't kind of in their ballpark, or if they do it the way they did like Island Fire and I'll Try, or, Once Bitten and Twice Shy. I feel like those two just worked out a lot better, and it did feel like a long song, but it just felt much better. It felt like it was arranged much better and just more thought out. So my overall rating for Whalebone's Island Fire, I'm going to be giving it a 9.4 out of 10. I think it's one that you should highly check out if you are a fan of the Deer Hunter, if you're a fan of I the Mighty, if you're a fan of Manchester Orchestra. I feel like they all have those sorts of vibes and similar qualities to this song and this band in particular. Really awesome band from Indiana. They are actually doing a release show, so if you do live in that area, go check that out. They're playing with Bill Murray, another favorite band of mine, so I'm kind of hurt. I'm hurt, but if you guys, Bill Murray and Whalebones, if you guys toured together, that would be sick. I think I would cry. So definitely, just saying, Paul, Nathan, let's get on it. But overall, I think not only because they're my friends, but I really feel like you should check out this record. It's really unique, really interesting, and I feel like if there's any band that has been around with me for a long time, I would say that these guys have for sure. So go give this a listen, go pick it up. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. I'd love to know if you agree with me, if you disagree. I'd love to have a conversation about the record. Certainly a wonderful record. Go pick it up if you get the chance to. It comes out this Friday. Links will be in the description where you can find out about Whalebones and all their music. And I'm was really excited. Thank you to Paul. Thank you to Nathan. I know he didn't know about this, but thank you to Paul for giving me this record a little bit early and able to review it. So if you enjoyed this review, please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. It goes a long way. Thank you guys again for the immense support. I really can't do any of this without you, so thank you so much for that. My name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.